In today's video, we're going to go through mounting up my brand new Yaesu FTM-400XDR dual band ham radio into the Tundra. Coming up. My name's Drew and this is Evergreen Overland. On this channel we do reviews on camping and overland gear, we hone our outdoor cooking skills and techniques, and we showcase 4x4 vehicle modifications like the one we're going to do today. I've been going out truck camping and all that kind of stuff for quite a while now in the Pacific Northwest. And honestly, one thing that I've wanted to get into but just haven't for quite a while is upgrading my communications in the truck, not only for emergency assistance, but also just vehicle-to-vehicle communications when you're out exploring with a group. For the most part, I've relied on buddies who have had CB radios that they could throw me, and, you know, the cheap little FMRS, little handheld units that you get at Walmart or Cabela's, that kind of stuff. I have a little Garmin InReach emergency little beacon thing that if I had a really serious situation, I could hit that and the cavalry would be on their way. For a while, I've been wanting to upgrade my radio game with something that's going to be able to reach out for a lot longer distance up and down the trail, and in a pinch I'd be able to contact emergency services if I needed to. Want something that has, you know, kind of some nuance to it where you can reach out, maybe look for some guidance or tell somebody where you are without having to, you know, call in the search teams, kind of a thing. There's really only one radio system that I'm aware of that can do that, and of course I'm talking about ham radio. I started out down the road of learning a little bit about it, studied, took my technician's course test, and I'm proud to announce my call sign is KJ7FZU. There's a ton of information out there for ham. There's a super big hobbyist community around it. Today we're going to go through the whole install of the radio system from start to finish, and that's going to be about it. Down the road, I'm hoping I can walk you guys with me as I go through the base level, starting out hardly knowing or understanding anything about what I'm getting into at this stage, with programming your ham radios, jumping into all the different capabilities that my specific ham radio is going to have, and hopefully we can grow along in this a little bit together. But for today, let's go ahead and get this thing installed, and the rest will come later. Let's take a look at the kit I put together. Hopefully I have everything I need to get this thing finished up today. Here's what I got. I got my Tram model 1180 dual band antenna, little adapter for the antenna that I'm not sure I'm going to need or not. I got a little mount that I'm going to use to mount the antenna permanently on the lip of my hood. I've got some coax cable to go from the radio itself to the antenna, and I believe utilizing this little adapter. And I've got a mounting bracket that I think might be redundant because I think this kit came with one. And then of course I have my Yaesu FTM-400XDR dual band radio. All right, so if we open up this radio and pop it out of its nice little case here, right in front we have your user's manual, which is pretty dang extensive. This is some serious stuff. You need a license to do this, so they want to make sure you're not doing anything incorrectly. You have a quick reference guide here of some sort. Just looks like a quick little pared down version of probably the need to knows at a glance really quick for this system. Comes with a sticker, which I appreciate. Comes with your limited warranty card right there. I'm sure I've got to do that. And if we pop this open, we dive into the head unit here, and it is a small little guy. It is roughly 2 7/8 inches deep, 5.5 inches wide, and roughly 1 3/4 inches deep. So that is the little head unit that's going to get mounted. This is what you're going to be utilizing all the time to kind of program and set up and change channels and all that kind of stuff. So this says it's a PC connection cable. So I'm assuming this plugs into your computer and then you can connect it to your PC to do some programming. We've got the power cable here with the inline fuse probably already put through it. The cables go into your battery. They look like they're like a 14 gauge or something like that, and then it'll plug into the back of the radio, I'm assuming, right there. So this is going to be your little cable that's going to go from your radio system to your head unit. We have your mic right here that will go into your radio system as well. Has that little shock cord on there, so it gives a little give to it. A mounting system for the head unit itself. I'm not going to take it out of there, but the head unit gets mounted with this guy, and I guess you can bend this, and oh yeah, it's pretty soft metal. You can bend this a little bit to fit whatever kind of area you're going to need. Extra fuses, a little clip for your push-to-talk microphone right there, a redundant mounting bracket. So I actually did not need an extra mounting bracket, but I got one. Here's what it is. Go to the main body of this, and you find your computer with all the different plugins that you're going to need for everything, and a nice compact little setup. Again, about 5.5 inches wide, about 1 3/4 inches tall, 5 3/4 inches front to back. Pretty compact little unit. So my plan is to mount this guy under my seat using hopefully the supplied bracket. But if I need to, I've got some scrap sheet metal that I can hopefully use to make a custom bracket. Putting this guy under the seat is going to keep it out of the weather and the elements, give it a good amount of protection. It's probably never going to really get banged into. And I think there's enough space down there that it'll get enough air movement to keep it cooled down. Let's go ahead and jump into the cab of the truck and take a look at a couple different mounting options I'm thinking about for the head unit. All right, so there's a couple different places I've been playing around with the idea, or at least theoretically where I was thinking I was going to put this. My initial spot was up here where you would have like this blank area where there's usually like the home link system for the limited packages, or I think all the Sequoias have them. I think that would be a pretty good spot because I don't use my rear view mirror for anything other than looking at the dog in the back seat. Since the habitat's back there, I can't see out of my back window anyway, so I don't really use this. And this would be up here, super visible, easy to control, easy to manipulate what stations and frequencies I'm on, so I thought that would be a good spot. And then another really good spot that I was thinking of would be down here somewhere, kinda where I ended up mounting the Aux-Beam 6-gang switch panel. If you're interested in seeing how I installed that, you can find a link to the video right here. But anyway, I thought about that being a good location as well. Still super easy to get to, manipulate, look at everything. A little bit more hidden down below the window line for the risk of somebody coming through and thieving this, but in the end, I think I'm going to get a magnetic quick release for this anyway so that I can pop it off, lock it away, along with, you know, all the other sensitive things that I wouldn't want stolen, and then hook it back up when I get back in the truck. But what I'm kind of thinking might be a good solution is actually to relocate this Aux-Beam switch panel down kind of recessed a little farther under here, and then mount this right where that is. Although that would put this unit down here a little bit harder to reach on the fly. This thing's more of a tactile muscle memory click where I know that my amber lights are top left and my rear backup lights are top right and my floods are bottom left. So I only went with the 6 panel because I wanted to keep it simple and make it so that it was really easy to navigate this kind of without having to look at it directly. So I am leaning towards that, just relocating this down here, pitching this guy right here, and I think I'll be able to mount it up in a way where I can still have access to my cup holder right here, and then put this guy in that location right there. All right, so that could easily get run right there and have a little bit of tilt up space to work with. I actually think that could work perfectly. This is designed to where I think I could bend this out. That would give me a little bit of bump out from the top here to mount that up kind of perfectly where it needs to be. And it'll be a little bit of a temporary mount until I get the magnet system, so it'll be a quick release. Okay, that's my move. I am going to relocate this down here, kind of low as it's going to go. So I'm going to drill into this and mount this directly to it. And I'm going to mount this using this bracket and another little chunk of aluminum, which I'll show you, right in the location here. And it'll probably bump out to right about there. So that's okay. This will be resting kind of down there, and then this will come out here, and I'll be able to space it away so I can still use my cup holders if I need to. I'm going to show you guys a little side view of the bracket this comes with. Although it's meant to be bent and manipulated in different formats and all that kind of stuff, there's 2 standard ways that I can tell that it gets mounted. One, it puts it so that this is kind of, you know, 1/4 of an inch below the base there. And the second way, if you flip it around to now that, it kind of comes off maybe, I don't know, a 1/2 inch up from the base of this thing. So that just gives you about 1 inch of up and down. And there's no reason why you couldn't drill a hole anywhere else in this thing and just reposition it that way. But those are basically the 2 standard positions. I'm going to use mine mounted up in the first position so that it sits kind of flush with the base of the thing, and it just mounts it up a little bit higher in the location I want, so it hovers kind of right below the 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive switches right there. Not getting in the way of these 2 switches, but putting it up high enough to give me the maximum amount of visibility for seeing this if I need to. All right, let's get this drilled and mounted up, cut some aluminum bar a couple of times, take some test measurements, and we'll be on our way. I'm going to attach the faceplate to this first because I need to be able to access the bolts to tighten the side bolts down there on the other side of the bracket. And then I'll put this in and get a screwdriver in there and tighten it down. Next, we're going to cut a chunk of this aluminum bar stock I have to extend the mounting bracket into the hole for the head unit. All right, let's go see what that's going to do for me. I guess my idea would be that mounts there, and this guy gets shoved all the way back and hits the wall. That's going to be a pretty good location for this. Bend it a little bit and angle it up towards my face. It's not too shabby right there. Honestly, I think that's where I'm going to keep it. All right, so I put the screw I'm going to use in there, and I paint marked it, and I'm going to line it up without touching. See if I can't just stamp a little spot on where I need to drill a hole. That's going to be it right there. Pretty good, pretty sturdy. I like it. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Really pretty solid. We're gonna leave this and go about mounting the main radio unit up next underneath my driver's seat. All right, here is the unit with the bracket on there, and it just comes with these 4 little mounting bolts that go in the side, and then it has a little bit of a pivot on there so you can mount it at different sections. Gonna be a little tight for space under the seat. I need to probably unbolt the seat and flip it up to see where I might be able to get enough clearance to mount this, and I also need to look in the manual and see if heat is going to be an issue, because obviously I do have a floor heater back here and probably don't want it blowing directly on this. So what I'm wondering is if there's any way to mount it up to the underside here. I'm not going to be moving the seat forward and backward all the time, so realistically, if I mount it in an area that's a little bit tight, if I mount it far enough forward, I don't think it's going to be in, the direct line of the heater, and even then I doubt that heater's probably blowing super, super hot. Ideally, I'm going to be running the cable going from this unit towards the driver's side door, along the channel rail there underneath the plastics, and then through the firewall onto where it's going to be mounted in the hood. So I would want this side pointing that way, and everything else is going to be going to the head unit towards the front of that center console, so I would want this side pointing that way. So what I'm thinking is, bolting into right here some sort of channel or whatever it's going to be, and then doing a crossbar that goes from side to side, bolted somewhere over here that misses everything, but also is a point that I can bolt this guy to. Like that. You know what? I think the heater unit actually sits slightly towards the passenger side, so I think I want to mount this either center or slightly more to the driver's side. So I think I got it figured out. I got a piece of steel in here. I think it's probably about 1/8 of an inch steel. Just a steel bar cut for the right size. Right now I'm going to put this piece of 1/8 inch aluminum in here, and then I will end up installing this like that. I'm going to get all these tightened down, mark the spots out for this, bolt it onto here, and we'll be back to test fit it. Looking pretty good. We're not going to have an issue at all with that. All right, let's see if I can get some of these cables installed. So I think I can go right up that little crack in through the center console and all the way to the back of the unit. This is the cable that's going to go up to the back of this. I've got it run right here, in through here, up through here, and I gotta fish it the rest of the way there. All right, so my seat's out. Right now I'm gonna pop some of these plastics up because I'm going to run the coax and the power cables right here. And yeah, it exposes this nice little rail here that all of your electricals already run through. Up there, there is that rubber grommet right down there. Gonna pop a hole through that and run the coax as well as the power cables. Send these through the engine bay, that grommet there through the engine bay, and then plug them back into that thing. And then here is the side of the coax that I'm gonna shove through the engine bay as well. Guessing. I got everything running. I'm running my coax. So this guy tightens down to here. You kind of will figure it out. This is like a collar, and this tightens down. But you have to thread this backing plate on from the other side of the coax all the way to this point. You can't put it on this side. It has to be threaded on that way. That's what I wanted to make sure I brought up, is that you just got to make sure you thread that on before you feed it through the firewall, because that would be a pain in the ass. So I'm basically just trying to find a location right now to where I want to mount this. Alrighty, so it is after 2 a.m. I am tired as hell. The garage that was somewhat cleaned up before all this started is now destroyed, but I think we're pretty much ready to turn this thing on. There we go. Pretty freaking cool. Like I said, complete install video of the Yaesu FTM-400XDR by a complete novice. In videos to come in the future, we're going to talk about all the things that this specific radio can do. We're going to get this thing programmed and make first contact. I really appreciate you guys watching. Please, if you like this video, hit the like button to let me know I've done a good job. Mash that subscribe button to be notified when I put out a new video each week. You can follow me over on Instagram at Evergreen Overland. I post some of the day-to-day and week-to-week stuff there, as well as whenever I put a new video out. If you would like to leave a comment in the comment section below, it definitely helps. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer them. There'll be links in the description section below from everything I used from this video. I hope you got something out of it. I hope you, like me, are somebody who finds a lot of excitement, a lot of fulfillment and happiness in taking on new challenges and learning new things. That's what this whole channel is really all about. It's about exploring and building out your vehicles and gear and all that kind of stuff, but really it's about me learning how to shoot video and kind of convey myself to you guys the way I want to. It's me learning how to do all these installs and work on my truck and learning those skills. It's learning how to now operate ham and understand the whole frequencies and all that components. It's just, this channel is all about learning. So I hope you get out there, learn something new. Have a good day.